Europe in 1914 was a continent of empires, rivalries, and ambition, a room packed with gunpowder waiting for a spark. For years, nations built armies and navies, each trying to outdo the other. Tensions simmered, alliances formed, and everyone knew a single event could ignite a catastrophe. That spark came in Sarajevo, when an assassin killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand, but the explosion that followed was about far more than one man's death. Each nation saw opportunity in war, some for survival, others for power. Leaders like the German Kaiser and Russian Tsar believed war could secure their country's futures. They promised quick victories and glory, but unleashed disaster instead. The war was not just a tragic accident, it was the result of deliberate choices. Ambitions for land, colonies, and influence fueled the fire. A local crisis in the Balkans became a global conflict because every power had something to gain. To understand why millions marched to war, we must look at what their leaders hoped to achieve. This story is about the war aims of Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, France, Britain, Russia, and Italy. It's a tale of ambition, fear, and miscalculation. Why did they fight? What did they want? The answers shape the world we live in today. As we look back, the cost seems unimaginable. But to understand the madness, we must step into their world. We'll explore what each power hoped to gain, and why those dreams led to disaster. This is the story of why they fought, and what they were fighting for, and why those choices still matter. Germany, newly unified and industrially powerful, wanted recognition as a world power. Kaiser Wilhelm II envied Britain and France's empires and demanded Germany's place in the sun. Surrounded by rivals, France to the west, Russia to the east, German leaders believed war was inevitable. Their plan defeat France quickly by invading through Belgium, then turn east to crush Russia. The Schlieffen Plan was a gamble for swift victory and lasting dominance. Germany's war aims were bold: conquer French territory, control Belgium and Luxembourg, and dominate Central Europe, Mitteleuropa. In the east, they dreamed of pushing Russia back and creating German-controlled states. These ambitions drove every German decision. Invading Belgium brought Britain into the war, making Germany look like the main aggressor. As the war dragged on, German aims grew even more extreme. They sought an empire stretching from the Atlantic to the Black Sea. The dream of a place in the sun became a desperate fight for total victory. Germany's leaders believed only war could secure their future. Their ambitions set Europe ablaze. The cost would be far greater than they imagined. Germany's quest for power would reshape the continent and destroy the old order. In the end, their gamble would bring ruin, not glory. The world would never be the same. Austria-Hungary was a fragile empire, a patchwork of restless nationalities. Its leaders feared the rise of Serbia, which threatened to unite Slavic peoples and tear the empire apart. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was seen as a Serbian plot, a chance to crush Serbia and save the empire. Austria-Hungary's war aims were simple: destroy Serbia, end its influence, and stop the spread of nationalism. Some wanted to annex Serbia, others just wanted it weak and dependent. Their focus was survival, not conquest. They issued an ultimatum Serbia couldn't fully accept, then declared war, knowing it might spark a wider conflict. Austria-Hungary counted on Germany to shield them from Russia, Serbia's protector. For Vienna, this was a last-ditch effort to hold the empire together. The war was a desperate gamble to turn back the clock, but instead of saving the empire, it would hasten its collapse. Nationalism proved stronger than old empires. The Ottoman Empire, long called the sick man of Europe, was in decline. The Young Turks, led by the three Pashas, wanted to restore Turkish power and modernize the state. Facing threats from Russia and Britain, they saw war as a chance to survive and expand. They allied with Germany, hoping to break free from European control. Their aims: preserve independence, end unfair treaties, and reclaim lost lands. Enver Pasha dreamed of a new Turkish empire stretching into Central Asia, Pan-Turanism. They hoped to win back territory from Russia and even reclaim Egypt. The Ottomans gambled on war, launching a surprise attack on Russia. They believed victory would revive their empire and fulfill nationalist dreams. But the empire was weak, and the risks were enormous. For the Ottomans, the war was a fight for survival, or extinction. The gamble would decide the fate of the empire. France entered the war haunted by defeat and humiliation. Since 1871, the loss of Alsace-Lorraine to Germany had fueled a national desire for revenge. President Poincaré and General Joffre prepared for war, determined to reclaim lost provinces. France's war plan called for an immediate attack to retake Alsace-Lorraine. Their aims: restore national honor, recover lost land, and ensure security against future German aggression. Some leaders dreamed of breaking Germany into weaker states. France also sought control of the Saar Basin to rebuild its industry. The war was about healing wounds and preventing another invasion. Even as the conflict became a bloody stalemate, France refused peace without Alsace-Lorraine. The government told soldiers they fought to liberate lost brothers and defend their homes. For France, the war was not about empire, it was about survival and justice. The quest for revenge drove them through years of horror. Victory would come, but at a terrible cost. Britain's main goal was to prevent any single power from dominating Europe. In 1914, Germany's growing navy and industry threatened that balance. The invasion of Belgium gave Britain a clear reason to act, honoring a treaty and protecting its own security. Britain's war aims to defeat Germany, restore Belgian independence, and destroy the German navy. They wanted to reduce Germany's power and preserve the European balance. Beyond Europe, Britain aimed to seize German colonies and Ottoman lands, especially oil-rich Mesopotamia. The Royal Navy blockaded Germany, while British armies fought in France, Africa, and the Middle East. For the public, the war was about defending freedom and small nations. For leaders, it was about protecting the empire and global dominance. Britain's strategy was global, but its core aim was to keep Europe divided. The war would strain Britain's resources and change its empire forever. The fight for balance would have lasting consequences. Britain's world would never be the same. Russia was vast but unstable, ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. The government saw war as a way to unite the country and silence revolution. Russia claimed to protect all Slavs, Pan-Slavism, especially Serbia. When Austria-Hungary threatened Serbia, Russia felt compelled to act. Their greatest ambition: control Constantinople and the Turkish Straits, giving their navy access to the Mediterranean. They also wanted to unite Polish lands and liberate Slavs from Austria-Hungary. These dreams shaped Russia's actions, turning a Balkan crisis into a European war. But Russia's economy and government were too weak for a long conflict. The war brought suffering, shortages, and defeat. Instead of glory, Russia's ambitions led to revolution and collapse. The Tsar's gamble ended the empire. The dream of Slavic unity died in the trenches. At first, Italy stayed neutral despite its alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary. The government saw a chance to bargain for territory, to complete Italian unification. Italy negotiated with both sides, seeking the best offer. The Allies promised Italian-speaking regions, parts of the Dalmatian coast, and colonial gains. In 1915, Italy joined the Allies, presenting the war as a final step toward national greatness. But the decision was opportunistic, not idealistic. Italy's war aims were about land, not principle. The new front in the Alps was brutal and costly. Millions fought and died for promises on a secret treaty. Italy's gamble would shape its future, and its disillusionment. The price of ambition was high, the rewards would prove elusive. The Great War was born of ambition, each nation chasing dreams of power, revenge, or survival. Germany sought dominance, Austria-Hungary survival, the Ottomans revival. France wanted revenge, Britain balance, Russia glory, and Italy land. Leaders used these aims to justify sacrifice and keep the war going. But the war became a zero-sum game. Victory for one meant defeat for another. Few achieved their goals, most lost everything. The empires that started the war collapsed. France and Britain won, but at immense cost. Italy felt cheated, fueling future turmoil. The dreams of 1914 ended in ruin, not glory. The war's legacy was shattered societies and broken lives. The lesson is clear: unchecked ambition and nationalism bring only tragedy. The price of war is paid by ordinary people in blood, treasure, and tears.